A nationwide general knowledge contest for the title Brain of Britain 2006. The chairman is Robert Robinson.
Hello, once more we have 4 contenders, all eager for the crown. This time they come from the Midlands and East Anglia, and they are Brian Harrigan, a bookseller from Birmingham, Russell Turner, a postgraduate student from Norwich, Miss Glynis Bagley, a freelance copy editor from Oxford, and David Edwards, a teacher now retired from Denstone in Staffordshire. Simple rules and few, you may recall. 5 right in a row earns the extra mark, and 10 seconds for thought or even guesswork. First question for Mr. Harrigan, it's this. Wakefield, Towton and Barnet were all major battles in which conflict?
The English Civil War?
No. Mr. Turner?
War of the Roses?
The War of the Roses is right. Well done. Your turn, Mr. Turner. Which word, also used in trigonometry for one of the ratios in a right-angled triangle, describes a line which touches a curve but does not intersect it?
Tangent.
Yes. Which prominent economist and academic, Canadian-born but living for most of his life in the United States, where John F. Kennedy made him ambassador to India, died this year at the age of 97?
Keynes.
No. Mr. Edwards?
Galbraith.
Yes. J.K. Galbraith, who said he had a desire to afflict the comfortable. He also said, bit of an exaggeration, he was the tallest man in the world. Bit of a show-off in his way. Miss Bagley, it's your turn. Who in literature is the alter ego of Sir Percy Blakeney?
The elusive Pimpernel.
Yes, the Scarlet Pimpernel or the elusive Pimpernel. Whose monastic teaching and rule was followed by a religious order established in the 13th century, who were also known as the Austin Friars?
St. Augustine.
Yes. Who, in an article in 1945, put forward visionary ideas about the use of stationary satellites above the Earth to be used for communication purposes?
Arthur C. Clarke.
Yes. Of what in poetry are dactyls, trochees, anapests and iambuses all examples?
Feet.
Yes, metrical feet, of course. Who became the first woman president in Asia in 1986, following the overthrow of the regime under which her husband had been assassinated 3 years before?
Sonia Gandhi.
No. Mr. Harrigan?
Corey Aquino.
Yes, you're quite right. Your turn, Mr. Edwards. Which item of beachwear, usually attributed to Louis Réard, is celebrating its 60th anniversary this year?
The bikini?
It is. What is the name of the NHS 24-hour telephone service providing medical advice or redirection for appropriate treatment?
Healthline.
No. Mr. Turner?
NHS Direct.
Yes, NHS Direct is quite right. Now, at the end of the opening round, let's see what the figures are. We have 1 for Mr. Harrigan, 2 for Mr. Edwards, 3 for Mr. Turner, and 4 for Miss Bagley. Your turn, Mr. Harrigan. Which long-lived artist held the prestigious post of official painter to the Venetian Republic for 60 years or so, from 1516 to 1576?
Canaletto.
No. Mr. Edwards?
Titian.
Titian, quite right, well done. Mr. Turner, the first nation to gain independence in the 21st century, doing so in May 2002, has a name which could be translated as East-East. Which country is it?
East Timor.
Yes, you're right. What would be the speciality of a chef described as a chef potager?
Soup.
Yes, and of one such, someone said his soup was so bad the pygmies came to dip their arrows in it. Dear me. Your turn again, Mr. Turner. Following the introduction of national park status for areas in Scotland since 2000, which park containing 4 of Scotland's highest peaks is easily the largest in area in the UK?
Grampian.
No. Mr. Edwards?
The Cairngorms.
That Cairngorms is right. Miss Bagley, your turn. The centenary of which catastrophic event was commemorated at 5:12 a.m. on April the 18th this year by a large group, including a small number of survivors?
The San Francisco earthquake.
You're right, ma'am. Plants known as halophytes are particularly adapted to thrive in what sort of conditions?
Damp ones.
Ah. No, he said abruptly, did Jorkins. Mr. Edwards?
Salty.
Salty is right. I was thinking damp, you might go on to say salty, but you didn't. Mr. Edwards got it quite right, and it's now his turn. Which character's name is sometimes given in the theatre to a small balcony at an upper level in front of the proscenium arch?
Juliet.
Yes. The George IV diamond diadem is the item of the British royal regalia that is or should be most familiar to the public at large. Why is this so?
It's the imperial state crown, the crown with which the monarchs are crowned.
Coronated. That's a nice usage. No, that won't do for us. Mr. Turner?
In the sceptre.
No. Miss Bagley?
It's on display in the Tower of London.
No. Mr. Harrigan?
Wild guess. Is it the crown that the Queen wears on her stamp portrait?
Ah, wild but very good guess. Well done. Well done. Not so wild as you thought. Certainly she wears it on the definitive stamps. Now the score's up 2 to Mr. Harrigan, 5 to Mr. Turner, 5 to Miss Bagley, 6 to Mr. Edwards. Mr. Harrigan, since 1988, the Paralympic Summer Games have been held in the same host cities as the Olympic Games themselves. The last Games before that change were held in 1984, partly in New York, and partly at the venue in England to which the Paralympics trace their origin in the late 1940s. Which venue was that?
Stoke Mandeville.
Yes. Who is the daughter of Prospero in Shakespeare's The Tempest?
Miranda.
Yes. Which 14th century English religious reformer has sometimes been given the epithet the Morning Star of the Reformation?
No idea.
Mr. Turner?
Wycliffe.
Wycliffe is right. Your turn. Backing is the word used to describe a change of wind direction that is anti-clockwise. Which word is used for the opposite effect, that is, a clockwise change?
Fronting.
No. Mr. Edwards?
Veering.
Veering is quite right. Miss Bagley? Following the major government reshuffle of May this year, the ex-chief whip Hilary Armstrong wound up with a variety of titles, namely Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster, Minister for the Cabinet Office, and a newly created ministerial post covering some of the government's social objectives. Minister for what?
Everything else.
Well, that's a very reasonable response, because she seems to have been Minister for almost everything and everything else. No, it's not the right answer, though, although it's an interesting one. Mr. Harrigan?
Is she Minister for Children?
No. Mr. Turner?
For women.
No. Mr. Edwards?
Administrative affairs.
No. That would include absolutely everything, wouldn't it? Social exclusion is the answer. Mr. Edwards, your turn. We now hear part of a work by Joseph Haydn, an oratorio first performed in 1801 as he was nearing 70, and which was one of his last major works. German text was very largely based on English poems by James Thomson, written in the 1720s. What is the work called? So what is the work called?
Well, I don't know, but I'll guess the Nelson Mass.
No. No, you don't know? I'll have to tell you. The Seasons, it's called. That excerpt was the hunting scene from Autumn, played there by the Berlin Opera Chorus, Berlin Philharmonic Orchestra, and the conductor was Herbert von Karajan. At the end of that round, the scores are 4 to Mr. Harrigan, 5 to Miss Bagley, 6 to Mr. Turner, 7 to Mr. Edwards. So they're all nudging each other as they go along. The word laconic, this is for Mr. Harrigan, derives from the terse speech of the inhabitants of the Greek city-state of Laconia, better known to us by another name. What name was that?
Sparta?
Yes. Of which type of decorative feature, usually in interiors, are ball flower, dogtooth, egg and dart, and chevron examples?
The wallpaper design.
No. No, mouldings is the answer. Mr. Turner, it's your turn. In the early 1930s, Robert Graves conceived the idea of rewriting a novel by Charles Dickens, contending that because the story had originally been serialized over 20 months, Dickens had simply kept it going, and therefore half the material was redundant. The resulting tidied-up version, published in 1933, led to a considerable rift with his old friend Siegfried Sassoon, a Dickens aficionado. The book was called The Real What?
Edwin Drood.
No. Mr. Edwards?
The Real History of Oliver Twist?
No. Mr. Harrigan?
The real David Copperfield?
Yes. And as pure cheek goes, I think that takes the biscuit, don't you? Miss Bagley, one of the most important Hindu goddesses is the benign and gentle Parvati. Of which major god is she the consort?
Krishna?
No. Mr. Turner?
Shiva.
Shiva's right, well done. Mr. Edwards, a series of disturbances in northern England in 1842, which were associated in some respects with Chartist agitation, gained an unusual nickname. This was because of the method adopted by the rioters to stop machinery in mills by disabling the boilers. What were the riots called? Out of time. Mr. Turner?
Clog riots.
No. Mr. Harrigan, have a try?
The steam valve riots.
No, that's very near. The plug riots, because they pulled out the plugs and stopped everything, yeah. Well, at the end of the round, let's see how things have changed. Yes. 5 to Miss Bagley, 6 to Mr. Harrigan, 7 to Mr. Turner, 7 to Mr. Edwards. Now we have our listeners' turn. 2 questions from one of our listeners, hoping to put all 4 of you on the floor, as it were. Here is the first of those 2 questions, sent in by Gavin Fuller from London. HMS Dreadnought was built in just 14 months when she launched a new era in naval history 100 years ago. In which dockyard was this record achieved? Just consult. Having a go?
The Clyde?
No. Portsmouth is the answer. I think that probably crossed your minds as well. However, the second question from Mr. Fuller is this. The only subsequent naval vessel to be named Dreadnought was classed as an SSN. What did these letters stand for?
Try to think what N would stand for. Nuclear doesn't sound right at the end of a phrase, does it?
SSN.
How about a submersible something nuclear? For the use of. You do.
Have a go.
Need another word. Submersible ship. Yeah. Submersible ship nuclear for the use of.
Yes. Yeah. You may well applaud. I think you're applauding Jorkins' free and easy way there. Lovely, lovely. You don't often see it. Anyway, ship submersible nuclear. So I think you've just about got it. However, you got one. Mr. Fuller got one. That means he's won. And he gets a book token and a round of applause. Mr. Harrigan, a city in western China on the Yangtze River, which was the capital of Chiang Kai-shek's nationalist government during the Second World War, is now one of the world's boom cities, having been the site of experimental economic reforms for about 20 years. What's it called?
Shanghai?
Nope. Mr. Turner?
Jianjing.
Nope. Mr. Edwards?
Nanking?
No. Miss Bagley, choose one of those famous...
Singapore.
No. Chungking is the answer. And you said something like that, Mr. Turner.
It wasn't that, though.
It wasn't that. How very candid of you, sir. I applaud you. Mr. Turner's turn. A controversial television drama of the 1980s starring Colin Firth was based on the experience in the Falklands War and after of Lieutenant Robert Lawrence, and took its name from the site of an action late in the campaign where he was seriously wounded. What was the drama called?
Goose Green?
No. Mr. Edwards?
Tumbledown.
Tumbledown. Well done. Miss Bagley, Ethernet, if I pronounce it correctly, is a computer technology developed from the 1970s onwards. It's come to be seen as the standard technology for the construction of a particular type of networking. What type?
I've used many an Ethernet.
Now's time. Mr. Turner?
Intranet?
No. Mr. Edwards?
Wireless networks.
No. Have a go, Mr. Harrigan?
The only nets I know, fishing nets.
Oh, well done for you, sir. Me too, me too. Local Area Networks, LANS, is the answer. Mr. Edwards, the European Commission has an ongoing programme with the rather nice acronym of CAFE, or CAFE if you like. Unfortunately, it has nothing to do with relaxation or imbibing, and is instead concerned with matters affecting environmental health. It seeks to bring together information on what subject covered by the CA part of the acronym.
Community agriculture.
No. Nice thinking. Mr. Turner?
Countryside Access?
No. Are you going to have a go? CA? No. No. Clean Air. The acronym stands for Clean Air for Europe. There. And let me tell you how the figures have altered. They are these now. 5 to Miss Bagley, 6 to Mr. Harrigan, 7 to Mr. Turner, and 8 to Mr. Edwards. Well, they're still treading on each other's heels. Mr. Harrigan, the SGC is a body which advises courts in England and Wales, exercising a role which was previously the responsibility of the Court of Appeal and the Magistrates Association. For what do the letters SGC stand?
No.
Mr. Turner?
Solicitor General's Council?
No. Mr. Edwards?
Solicitor General's Court.
No. Would you have a go, Miss Bagley?
Supreme Governor's Court.
Nice try. Sentencing Guidelines Council is the answer. And now it's Mr. Turner. Which sometimes controversial Sri Lankan cricketer became this year the first player to take 1,000 international wickets in Test and one-day matches?
Muralitharan?
Yes, and you pronounce it, and I don't have to. That spares me something or other. I'm sure I would have embarrassed myself. You're quite right. Who or what are the twain in Thomas Hardy's 1914 poem, The Convergence of the Twain?
East and West?
No. Mr. Edwards?
Germany and Britain.
No. And the others are astonishingly silent. I must tell you, the Titanic and the iceberg. That's the answer. And so it's Miss Bagley's turn. The neighbouring monarchies of Bulgaria and Romania were abolished in 1946 and 1947 respectively. Can you name either of the kings who lost their jobs? You only have to give the name, you don't have to give the number.
Ivan.
No. Mr. Edwards?
King Carol of Romania.
No. Mr. Harrigan?
Peter.
No.
Yugoslavia.
Now, Mr. Turner?
Leo?
No. Simeon is one and Michael is the other. Bulgaria and Romania respectively. Mr. Edwards, the northern and southern bottlenose whales are members of a group of whales which have been described as the strangest and least known of all cetaceans, usually living very far from land. There are currently around 20 recognized species, though several have never been seen alive. Named for a distinctive physical feature, what is the group called?
Dome-headed whales.
No. Mr. Turner?
Cephalopods?
No. The others? Miss Bagley?
Flatback.
No. Are you going to have a go, Mr. Harrigan? No, you're not.
Swallowtail.
You're quite certain of that, right? Beaked whales is the answer. And now, I'll tell you how the scores have changed. They're now these: 5 to Miss Bagley, 6 to Mr. Harrigan, 8 to Mr. Turner, 8 to Mr. Edwards. Mr. Harrigan, historically, what type of establishment was known as a lazaretto?
Was that it's a hospital, isn't it?
You don't ask me questions.
It is a hospital.
It is a hospital, thank you. I knew that's what you meant. Yes, it is a hospital. We accept that. It's for infectious or contagious diseases. But a hospital is the right answer. Which overseas dependency of the Netherlands in the Caribbean, capital Oranjestad, was part of the Netherlands Antilles until 1986, when it became a separate territory with plans for independence, which were abandoned in the early 1990s at its own request. No?
No.
Your time is ticking out. It's ticked. Mr. Edwards?
Curaçao.
No. Can you pick one, Mr. Turner?
St. Michael.
No. Miss Bagley going to have a go?
Nothing comes to mind.
Oh dear, Aruba is the answer. Now it's Mr. Turner. The office of Prelate of the Order of the Garter is a post which is perpetually held by which Church of England bishopric?
Durham.
No. Mr. Edwards?
Winchester.
Winchester's right. Well done. Miss Bagley, which characters in classical myth were sometimes referred to as the Dioscuri?
The Furies?
No. Mr. Harrigan?
Romulus and Remus?
No. Yes, Mr. Edwards?
The Fates.
No. Mr. Turner?
The Furies.
No. Castor and Pollux is the answer. Mr. Edwards, your turn. We now hear part of a hit for a group who are actually a house backing band for Stax Records in the 1960s. While waiting for a session to begin at the studio in 1962, they came up with this instrumental, which was a hit that year in the USA, noted at the time for its mixed race composition with 2 black members and 2 white. What was the group called? So what was that group called?
Booker T and the MGs.
Yes, indeed, you're right. And the piece was called Green... Say it.
Must I? Green Onions.
Yes, certainly you must. You don't get any extra marks, just a glow of satisfaction. Paul Theroux, Colin Thubron, Jonathan Raven are all noted writers in which field of literature?
Travel writing.
Yes. This year is the 150th anniversary of the birth of Sigmund Freud. In which modern-day country is his birthplace?
Austria.
No. Mr. Turner?
Switzerland.
No. Mr. Harrigan?
Germany.
No. Now, Miss Bagley. Pick one.
Denmark.
No. The Czech Republic is the answer. So let me tell you how things stand now. 5 to Miss Bagley, 7 to Mr. Harrigan, 8 to Mr. Turner, 11 to Mr. Edwards. Now we start our final round with Mr. Harrigan, the name of which character in Through the Looking Glass, who tells Alice that it takes all the running you can do to keep in the same place, has been given to the scientific hypothesis that species have to evolve in order to survive because of constant changes in their environment, such as climate, habitat.
Is that the Queen of Hearts?
No. Mr. Edwards?
The White Queen.
No. Have a go. Not much time left, Mr. Turner.
Cheshire Cat.
No. Pick one of the characters, Miss Bagley.
I think there's a sheep.
No. Oh, there may be, but it was the Red Queen. who said that, yes. Mr. Turner, which British Field Marshal of the Second World War, Commander-in-Chief in the Middle East from 1939 to 41, and from 1943 Viceroy of India, was also a poet who compiled a very well-known anthology called Other Men's Flowers?
Mountbatten.
No. Mr. Edwards?
Alan Brooke?
No. Mr. Harrigan?
Is it Slim?
No. Now, Miss Bagley, pick a jolly good general, as it were. Oh, Field Marshal, I beg your pardon. Mustn't demote him.
No, I run out after Mountbatten.
Oh, well, it was Wavell. Archibald Wavell. It's now your turn, Miss Bagley. The Tuscan hill town of San Gimignano, largely 13th century and preserved as a national monument, is particularly noted for which architectural feature? 14 remaining of the 72 which once existed.
Towers.
Yes. For which British artist was the experience of serving with a hospital unit on the Salonika front in the First World War an important influence, reflected specially in his work at the Sandham Memorial Chapel at Berkeley?
Augustus John.
No. Mr. Edwards?
Sickert?
No. Mr. Harrigan?
Is it Nash?
No. Don't be left out. Pick one, Mr. Turner.
Wyndham Lewis.
No, Stanley Spencer is the answer. And Mr. Edwards? A 15-foot bronze statue showing 3 children releasing a duck was unveiled at Bowness on Windermere earlier this year. Which author does it commemorate?
Arthur Ransom?
No. Mr. Harrigan?
Beatrix Potter?
Beatrix Potter is quite right. It also shows characters from all 23 of her tales. And that brings us to the end of the round, the end of the competition on this occasion. I'll give you the final scores. They are these: 6 to Miss Bagley, 8 to Mr. Harrigan, 8 to Mr. Turner, 11 to Mr. Edwards. So, Mr. Edwards is our winner. He edged ahead there very distinctly. He goes forward to the semi-finals. Next week we have 4 contestants, and on that occasion they come from the north of England. Until then, I bid you goodbye.
The chairman of Brain of Britain was Robert Robinson. The questions were set by Kevin Ashman. The programme was devised by John P. Wynne, and the producer was Richard Edis.